Good morning, dear students, and welcome back again to my channel. Today, we are going to do the revision of the poetry Aunt Jennifer's Tigers by Adrienne Rich. So, let us see what we have to cover today. First of all, we are going to cover the critical and thematic appreciation of the poetry, then, developing values and sensitivity, identifying the figures of speech, development of the skills of recitation, expressions, and so much and so more. So let us now move on to the next slide and get to know about the writer first of all. And in today's video, what I'm going to do is I will try speaking this video out in Hindi also. तो जो बच्चे नहीं समझ पाते complete English में, they might be able to understand a little bit with Hindi. Fine. So first of all, let us see about the poet Adrienne Rich, 1929 to 2012. Now, description of her. She was an American poet, essayist, and feminist. She was born in Baltimore, Maryland in May 16, 1929. Influential poets of the second half of 20th century. She was a part of it. Very famous poetess. She was credited with bringing the oppression of women to the forefront. Kindly note this thing particular down. She was credited with bringing the oppression of women to the forefront of poetic discourse, and this particular poetry is a part of it, where she has described about women oppression and how the marriage as an institution has failed. Right? Let us see. Next, we have some pictures which will describe this poetry very easily, because when you read this poetry, it is just of 3 paragraphs and very simple poetry. But when you look at these images, it becomes quite very easy to understand. हमें समझने में आसान होता है. कैसे? First of all, you can see the picture of a tiger. So of course, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. In the title itself, it is mentioned tigers. There is no such thing कि हम जंगल में जाके we are going to discuss about a tiger, live tiger or something. No. In this poetry, we are talking about embroidery of a tiger being done by Aunt Jennifer. Okay. So then we see this. It is a yellow stone, which will be topaz. Topaz is a yellow color stone which has been mentioned in the first paragraph of the poetry. Then you can see this amulet or the ring. This ring once again is a symbol. All these pictures are the symbols, or what we call in the language of critics, semiotics. Semiotic is a study of symbols. So what we see over here are the symbols through which the writer is trying to tell us about the oppression of Aunt Jennifer, and in reality the oppression of women. Then, as you can see, this is the embroidery. I will show you from this side. This is the embroidery board on which anyone makes embroideries. Okay, so Aunt Jennifer Tigers is also going to cover the embroidery part. Then you look at this particular picture. May be quite easy for you to understand how this picture is defining first paragraph, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, or tigers jumping or prancing across the screen of green. Okay, keep this picture in mind when you will be reading the first paragraph. Then one more picture of embroidery is there. Now let us move on to the themes. The theme of this poetry is racism and militarism against women. How they were literally not allowed to go outside or do anything on their own. Rather, उन्हें oppress करके रखा जाता था कि they should only and only take care of children and be at home. That's it. Sub-theme, male chauvinistic society. Chauvinism means when you try to define someone else's life by your own pressure or by showcasing that you are more powerful. So chauvinism. We might have read about chauvinism in the first chapter, last lesson, जहाँ पे you have seen it was language chauvinism. The Germans were imposing their language upon the French people. तो ऐसे ही इस चैप्टर के अंदर इस पोएट्री में we have male chauvinism, which means the male domination of the society upon the women. ठीक है? The speaker is Aunt Jennifer herself. She is a character which signifies, or she is a symbol of all the married women of that time who were oppressed by the society and the family. ठीक है? Vocab, prance, topaz, denizen, beneath, sleek, chivalric, flutter, all these words I'll explain you when we'll be reading the poetry. So let us move on to the poetry slide. अब चलो बच्चों, पोएट्री को पढ़ते हैं और समझते हैं बहुत आसान से शब्दों में. सॉरी फॉर माय हिंदी. Aunt Jennifer's Tigers prance across the screen. Prance over here means jump. across the screen. Here they are not in real life prancing or jumping, but it is an embroidery, a picture जो Aunt Jennifer ने बनाई है, जिसके अंदर the tigers are jumping across the screen. Okay. Then bright topaz denizens of the world of green. Topaz, I have shown you that stone, yellow stone was there. Here bright topaz denizens, what does it mean? It is metaphor, comparison of the tiger skin color, yellow color with that of a stone. Okay, so this is a metaphor. जब हम compare करते हैं दो different चीजों को. Bright topaz denizen, denizens means the animals who live in the den. So that is denizens. Just like the people who live in the city are called citizens. Same way the tigers living in the den are called denizens. Okay. Of the world of green, of course, they live in the forest world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They are not afraid of the men beneath the tree. These men may be the hunters. These men can be any men. So here, men beneath the tree is an example कि जो Aunt Jennifer है, she is in her real life afraid of men or the chauvinistic society. But here, her tigers, the composition she has made, are not afraid of the men. So this is a symbolic gesture over here. ठीक है? They pace in sleek chivalric certainty. They pace मतलब move करना. In sleek chivalric certainty, the word sleek was used in class 11th poetry. If you have remembered, it was that the tree, laburnum tree. Poetry was there. Second paragraph. The bird moves sleek like a lizard. So sleek over here is peacefully, quietly. Chivalric certainty, like a muscular, like without fear, like a gentleman. And of course, the tigers cannot have a gentlemanly gait. So it is personification also. Chivalric certainty means as if they are the masters, they are the king of this jungle. So they are not afraid of anyone. So from first paragraph, we have understand the tigers in this forest or in this picture are a symbol of fearlessness, pride, and they are not afraid of the men. Now moving on to the second paragraph, let us see about the creator. Creation के बारे में पता कर लिया, creator को देखते हैं. Aunt Jennifer's finger, she is the lady who has created these tigers. Her fingers are fluttering, F and F in finger and fluttering. These two words are alliteration. ठीक है? Fingers are fluttering. Fluttering मतलब होता है कांपना. Through the wool, while sewing or making these tigers, embroidering these tigers, she was literally shaking. Either it was because of the fear of her husband, who will come home and will of course be angry upon her. How dare you perform something without my permission? या फिर her fingers are fluttering because maybe she is old. Okay. Find even the ivory needle. Ivory needle embroidery के लिए यूज की जाती है, जो हमारी दादी नानियां यूज करती हैं एम्ब्रॉयडरी करने के लिए. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. वो बहुत मुश्किल था उसके लिए बनाना. The massive weight of uncle's wedding band. Very very important line. Massive weight. एक रिंग तो बहुत हल्की होती है, तो massive weight कैसे हो गया उसके अंदर? So the massive weight over here is a symbol that it is also hyperbole. That the ring is so heavy upon her conscience. She knew this ring is a symbol. This band, wedding band, or this ring is a symbol of oppression of her marriage. That she belonged to someone. She is treated like a thing. And this ring is a symbol that the honor of the house is the man to whom she is married. And this ring always tells her to keep herself quiet and suppressed. ठीक है? तो massive weight of uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. तो उनके हाथ में जो अंगूठी है, this is a showcase, this is a symbol of the married oppression she is facing throughout her life from her husband. Moving on to the last paragraph, we will be ending it up with comparison. What will happen to Aunt Jennifer in future and what will happen to the tigers? So, when the aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. जब aunt की death हो जाएगी, even after that also, she will not be free from this ring or from all these ordeals, the problems which she has been facing for so long, because she has to die under the control of her husband only. She has to die under the control of the male chauvinistic society only. That is why it is written, aunt is dead, her terrified hands. Terrified is, hand cannot be terrified, the person is terrified. So what it is, transferred epithet. ठीक है? तो ये वाला हमारा हो गया transferred epithet. Terrified hands will lie, ringed because the ring will still be there in her hand, with the ordeal she was mastered by, with the problems through which she has lived her life. So she will never be free. She will die like this only. But what about her tigers, the creation? The tigers in the panel that she has made will go on prancing proud and unafraid. ठीक है, तो टाइगर्स जो है they will be proud, they will be prancing, jumping, they will be fearless, they will always be there on the wall because nobody can ever capture them. It is her imagination, the creativity of Aunt Jennifer. In the end, we may say that it was the desire of Aunt Jennifer to live a free life. She was never able to. So she made these tigers, showcasing her desire through them, and now she died. Creator, creation. Fine. Now, I hope the poetry is clear to all of you. Moving on to the explanation part, you can take a screenshot of this part and you will be able to understand. A woman expresses her suppressed feelings through her art. She is expressing her suppressed feelings through her art. She is a victim of the male dominated society. She has no one to tell her mental and physical pain. That is why she drew these tigers, the jumping tigers. Okay? She makes a picture to convey her deep feelings. The poet addresses the constraint of married life. Constraint is limitations of a married life. Experienced by a woman, Aunt Jennifer weaves tigers into the panel. These tigers are brave and have no fear of men. No fear of men is a symbol, a gesture of Aunt Jennifer that I am afraid, but my creation is not. The speaker described the tigers which her aunt has produced on the panel. They are set in motion. They are moving, prancing, jumping across the screen. Unlike Aunt Jennifer, who is sitting inside the house locked up. They are moving quickly by raising the front legs and jumping forward and through the back leg. And then, of course, in the end, we see they are the king of the jungle. They are not afraid of anyone. Jennifer finds it difficult to make the pictures by using the ivory needle because her hands were shaking out of the fear. You can once again take the screenshot and can understand the entire summary part. She can't get herself involved in her artistic work because her husband disapprove of it. Okay, she will not be free from fear until she dies. But her tigers will keep on jumping, prancing across the screen, fearless. Finally, the poem reveals the plight of women in our society. As you can see, they are suppressed and deprived of their basic rights. As we have discussed, it is indeed a matter of grave concern. I told you in the introduction part of Aunt Jennifer or Adrienne Rich that she was writing about the right of women who were suppressed, who cannot speak for themselves. Finally, coming to the figure of speech which have been used, personification we discussed, the tigers have been personified, symbols we have used, rings are there, amulets or that topaz stone was there. Imagery has been used over here, the imagery of the tigers prancing across the screen. Synecdoche is used over here, hyperbole is used over here, and alliteration has been used over here. The fingers fluttering, the terrified hands, and alliterations we have used. So these are all the poetic devices we have discussed. Finally, the rhyming scheme is AABB, CCDD, EEFF, which may come as a one marker question in the RTC part. The questions which might be used to comprehend your knowledge and understanding are these. What do the tigers on the panel signify? They signify fearlessness. They signify Aunt Jennifer's desire to be free from the society. Describe the tigers on the panel. The first paragraph is the answer of that. The tigers are the denizens of the world of green, bright topaz color, fearless, not afraid of men. All these words you can use. Take a gentlemanly gait also. How do denizens and chivalric add to the understanding of the tiger's attitude? So, denizens and chivalric showcases the tigers are living in their own world and they are the master of that forest. No one can intimidate them or suppress them. Interpret the symbols found in the poetry. The symbol number one and the most important one is that ring, the marriage ring, the marriage band, which signifies the oppressed marriage of Aunt Jennifer. And the tigers are the symbol of her feelings which have been suppressed. Why are the tigers not afraid of the men beneath the tree? Because of course that's what Aunt Jennifer wanted to showcase. You can suppress a female inside the house, but you cannot suppress her feelings like the tigers, right? Explain their pace in sleek chivalric certainty. So this line means they are running freely into the forest with a gentlemanly gait because they are not afraid of anyone. They are proud like a warrior, like a knight. Chivalric was actually the word chivalry was a word being used for knights, warriors when they used to come back with chivalry because they have shown valor and pride. That's why. Why does Aunt Jennifer find it hard to pull the ivory needle? Because she was afraid of her husband. She was too old to handle things out. Then, what is the significance of uncle's wedding band? So, significance was very simple. It is a symbol of oppression in marriage. What does the ring symbolize? We have just discussed this answer. Why does Aunt Jennifer choose to embroider tigers? We have discussed is in the last slide where we showcased that she was drawing it to tell the society, I also want to be free. Justify the title of the poetry, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Of course, the title is Justified Tigers, Free, Aunt Jennifer Bounded. Okay, antithesis. Then what are the ordeals Aunt Jennifer's was surrounded by? We have already discussed that. Ordeals are the problems. What is the attitude of the speaker towards Aunt Jennifer? The speaker over here wanted to show her sympathy towards Aunt Jennifer, how the women in the society were suppressed by their husbands and the male dominated society. So I think this is it. Why do Aunt Jennifer's finger flutter and all are the questions we have already discussed, and with that we have come to the end of our description, end of this particular chapter. So thank you so much everyone. I hope इस वीडियो में आपको सब समझ में आया होगा. If you have liked it, so please subscribe my channel. Meet you in the next class.